Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
WMAL. 7:07 on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here to our little morning conversation. Hope you're all geared up for Christmas, and if you're celebrating Hanukkah, I hope you're enjoying the midst of it. We're enjoying watching all of our friends celebrating and enjoying the Festival of Lights. Yes. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to speak with the candidate for Frederick County Council, Dan Yampieri. Then at 8:05, Roma Duravi from the newly christened Trump Kennedy Center. Explain that move. And then at 8:35, Seamus Bruner talk about a new debate in Congress now about stock trading. I feel like we have that debate every several years in Congress, and somehow nothing ever changes. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Patrice Onwuka. Good morning, Patrice.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up now, it's Paul Larkin. He is with Heritage Foundation, Senior Legal Research Fellow at the Edwin Meese III Center for Legal and Judicial Studies. Mr. Larkin, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or just enjoy some of the time off.
Happy winter solstice. Yeah, exactly. So what exactly happened yesterday when the president signed a document moving marijuana from what they call a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug for controlled substances? What's the impact there?
Okay. In the first place, technically, all he did was order the Attorney General to complete and speed up the rescheduling process.
Okay.
And so there has to be a hearing, et cetera, and all that. But as a practical matter, everybody knows he just rescheduled it himself. Why? He ordered the Attorney General to do something, and she's not going to find that cannabis should not be rescheduled. That's a mistake. And what that means is you're going to, in the future, have physicians writing prescriptions for the cannabis plant, something that's never happened before. Physicians don't write prescriptions for plants.
Oh, I see.
Why?
Wait. This isn't important because I had said that I thought medical marijuana was already sort of a norm. So let's clear this up. You're specifically talking about the plant, smoking joints versus sort of cannabis or part. Well, you tell me what, because some states do have medical marijuana. Is it just in a different form?
No. What happened is that people just got sold a bill of goods. They thought they were voting, legislators were voting for granting relief to people suffering from terminal cancer or MS or similar diseases. And it's not. What they did was they allowed physicians to recommend that cannabis be used for all sorts of purposes. And the idea that medical marijuana is a concept is just silly because the term medical marijuana is an oxymoron. The FDA has never approved the cannabis plant. The FDA has approved ingredients that are found in cannabis, and there should be more research done into whether there are other ingredients. But the idea of rolling a doobie and then smoking it as being a medical treatment for anything is just absolutely absurd.
You know, I would love for you to talk about what the cultural impact and societal impact of this is going to be. We're seeing studies now where adverse physical problems are occurring among people who are using marijuana regularly. But then I think I talked about it earlier. I think there's a social signal that's being sent across society that it's less destigmatized. It's okay for you to consume of whatever your favorite form of marijuana is, whether it's a gummy or a cookie or a blunt, because, the president just kind of green-lighted it for medical uses. But hey, I have a headache. That's a medical use. I mean, do you expect this to be the rippling impact of yesterday's actions?
Yes. People are going to take the message that it's now permissible to use cannabis as a signal that it's good. And you know what the worst thing is going to happen, and what actually will happen, is people are going to die as a result of this decision. Why? Because there are people that are going to use cannabis, get high, drive a car, cause a crash, and maim or kill people. You can't drive under the influence of cannabis, particularly the THC that is the primary psychoactive ingredient. But people are going to do it. They're going to say, hey, the president said this is okay to do. So they're going to do it. They're going to drive, because some people, believe it or not, actually think they're better drivers under the influence of cannabis. And that which no one would say is anything but absurd. And so you're going to see people hurt. Yes, you know why you've seen these studies? Because the cannabis today isn't the cannabis that people smoked at Woodstock. Back then it was 3 to 6% THC. Now you can get forms of cannabis that are 90+%. No drug goes up by that amount without raising questions. And the research over the last 5 years has shown that today's cannabis is not safe. It's not effective. I mean, it's no more effective at dealing with pain than bourbon is. And nobody thinks of bourbon as a drug. And it's not uniform, because the strain, the area where it's grown, and everything else makes one cannabis plant different from another cannabis plant.
We're speaking with Paul Larkin. He's Senior Legal Research Fellow for Heritage Foundation. So, Mr. Larkin, explain this to me then. What's really at play? Because the president famously is clean and sober. He thinks drugs and even alcohol, he doesn't touch this stuff. He's not in favor of people going out and getting stoned. So what's going on here? Why did the president do this?
Because a lot of young people in their 20s, 30s, 40s want to be able to smoke cannabis. And so this is a political gift to them, so that they will vote Republican in the 2026 election.
Really?
For Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, I'm acting incredulously, because it doesn't, if anything, the most outspoken critics of this move have been other Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yes, but we're not but the other Republicans you're talking about are the people who are in Congress. Look at their age. They're not in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. He's trying to get as many Republican representatives elected as possible so he doesn't get impeached again.
How does this affect the criminal element? Because the other argument here is that as you move toward legalization and normalization here, that means that the criminal element is no longer going to be viable, and it will actually help cops because they don't have to worry about chasing down people dealing pot.
Everything we've seen since 1996 has proven that that's wrong. We have not eliminated a black market for cannabis. In fact, the black market is bigger than the legal market. Why? First, they don't pay taxes. When you buy from the black market, you don't pay a fee for the tax that's imposed on it that goes to the government, so it's lower priced. Secondly, it's not regulated. People who sell cannabis illegally don't have to comply with all the safety regulations that the government imposes in order to ensure that cannabis is properly sold.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're never going to change that. Why? Because there are a goodly number of people that don't want to be outed as having being cannabis smokers. Okay? If you are an elementary school teacher, if you are a city train or bus driver, anybody like that who, is in a position where they could get fired if it would be known that they smoke cannabis, they're going to buy it illegally. They're not going to go into a store where they could run into somebody and be outed as a cannabis smoker.
Got it.
So illegal cannabis is always going to be cheaper, and illegal cannabis is always going to be sought by people who can't take the risk of having it known that they're using cannabis.
Paul Larkin, we got to leave it. Oh, we got to leave it there. I'm sorry we're right up against it. I appreciate you joining us, though, Mr. Larkin.
Thanks so much, sir.
And,
my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And if anything, we've been enriched this morning because we just got, Paul Larkin, Senior Legal Research Fellow at Heritage Foundation. He served as counsel to the Judiciary Committee in the Senate when the legendary Orrin Hatch was the chairman there. And you just said doobie on the air on WMAL. I don't think any of us expected that.
Oh, okay. Well, would you prefer I have said ganja? I mean,
All right, yeah, sure. Why not?
I
We
feel
could
like
head
you have
to Jamaica
a million names
together.
that you could drop
betcha.
here. for
All right.
making
Thank you,
marijuana.
Mr. Larkin. Thank you, sir. It is 7:16.